This just came out, and we got to get into it because it's right in your wheelhouse. Bruce Feldman of The Athletic. We've both worked with Bruce at ESPN and Fox.
Yes.
He tweeted this. Multiple sources inside Michigan football told him this week that they think if Jim Harbaugh is offered the Raiders head coaching job, he'll take it. There it is. Now, remember, Harbaugh started his coaching career there with them in 2003. So, go ahead. That's your wheelhouse.
What have I been saying the whole time? That this is his, if you want to get back into the NFL, you did all you can do at Michigan. I know, Chris, you don't think his job is done because they didn't win a championship. I get it.
Well, not even that. Not even, because it's going to be hard for them to win a championship with the SEC. But I want us to get to Ohio State's level, or close, right? Where we expect you to be in the hunt for it.
I don't think he's confident that that's going to happen because Ohio State, like I said, will be looking for them next year. But the other thing is, you get to a certain point. You remember last year there were a lot of NFL jobs open. He had to take a pay cut, Chris. Nobody would pick up the phone when he called last year, to sniff around to see if he had another option.
Right.
There was no option for him last year. His name was Mud.
He may not have taken that pay cut if he.
Am I right? Options. If he could have gotten he could have gone to the NFL. The Lions had a job and didn't even interview him. His name was Mud in the state of Michigan.
Right.
Like even the Lions couldn't hire Jim Harbaugh last year.
Right.
If this was a couple years ago, Chris, right? You don't think that they would have tried to interview Jim Harbaugh?
Right.
Yes.
Right. Right.
So I think he understands where he is. He might still be a little salty because they came for his money. But, Chris, you know that. Like, that stings. You were making $8 million, and then all of a sudden you're making $4 million. And they told you, take it or leave it. Right. And you had no choice. How many big-time college coaches are taking a pay cut? How many? Not many.
No doubt. No doubt. You're right.
I think that's part of it, Chris. And I think that he has to determine after getting their butts kicked in the college football playoff game right against Georgia, he's just probably saying, am I going to win here or I'm going to go back to what I just went through for 7 years? This wasn't easy to cleanse my name, and get it back in good standing. I can go to the NFL. Mark Davis gave John Gruden $1 gazillion. I might get some casino stock.
If it's about money, obviously the Raiders can really hook you up. No doubt.
So I'm thinking, I believe the sources. I believe, and because he's been honest to recruits, Chris, right, who've been asked, right, about his situation.
To me, that's the most telling thing.
Yeah, that tells you because he doesn't want to mislead somebody, right? And I think he's going to. I think he's going to take an NFL job. I believe what the reports are saying about the Raiders because I think it's the Raiders or Bears are the two most attractive jobs for Jim Harbaugh.
I like the Bears job. You got a quarterback, and remember, he did wonders with Colin Kaepernick, who was a guy that could throw it and run it, and that's what Justin Fields is. You got a defense there that we know historically that's a pretty good team defensively. And so, that's not a bad situation. The Raiders, I don't think it's like everybody's raving about how good this job is. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad job. Obviously, every place you go, there's competition. But you got Patrick Mahomes in that division. You got Justin Herbert in that division.
But he can look at it as with all that went on, they still persevered and made the playoffs. Like that's that.
Okay, fine.
No, I'm not saying
are they better than Kansas City?
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying from that standpoint, guys always feel like they can make things better. You wouldn't be in coaching if you don't believe you can make things better.
Here's my thing about Harbaugh, and you've talked about the challenge, of ever winning a national championship at Michigan, just because the SEC is so dominant. And if you look at the history of the college football playoff, outside of that first year when Ohio State won it, the Big Ten teams have pretty much gotten their lunch taken from them. right?
Chris,
Punched in the mouth.
Yes.
Pushed down.
But can I say this too?
Your tough skins get scuffled up and holes in your tough skins. Mom's got to put a patch in the knees. You know, remember those?
I remember those. You got a pair in the Husky section.
My mom always put the patches on the outside of my pants. So
Not
you
the
had
inside?
the whole square. No, and it just didn't look right.
Right. It should have been on the inside.
That got me in more fights.
Exactly. They're like, what kind of pants are you wearing, Patchwork Family? Did they call you the Patchwork Family?
No, but
and here's the other part, Chris. Michigan's history of winning a national championship, they only got one. And it was a shared mythical.
Right.
So Jim Harbaugh's going, Bo Schembechler was there for 1,000,000 years and couldn't win. Seriously. Like, you start to look and go, this is not going to wind up being good for me long term. I think he's going to make the right decision, which is I came to Michigan. You wanted me to get you into the college football. That's what he'll be able to say. I did it. I got where you wanted to go, and now I'm done with college football.
I would say you didn't get us where you wanted to go. That's great. We got the college football playoff. We're happy. Awesome. We beat Ohio State, won the Big Ten, all that. But what if next year we fall right off again? And now we're back to square one. You're not there yet. You know this is my opinion on Harbaugh's situation there. And here's the other thing, Rob. If he goes to the NFL, and he did a great job. Like when they basically, remember he had the issues with the GM, Trent Baalke, and they basically chose Baalke.
Yeah,
I thought that was ridiculous. Harbaugh was terrific in the NFL.
Yeah, but I think he rubbed the owner the wrong way too, Chris. And you know what? You always got to remember, it ain't your team. I don't care what coach.
Okay.
You know, like right. there's a degree of that. I think Mark Jackson went through that in Golden State.
No, right. You
it ain't your team.
Absolutely. You have to play a little bit of politics.
Politics, right.
But, Rob, you talk about the challenge of him winning a national championship, or let's just say, getting to the playoffs,
Consistently,
yeah. Okay, that's a big challenge. But if he's at Michigan and that is the challenge, he knows he's got job security. They love him there. He's virtually a made man because they could have fired him a while ago and they didn't. And he comes back and takes them to the playoffs. So now he's, like you said, everybody loves him in the state. He's going to be there long term if he wants. And I'm assuming they'll pay him the money because if they won't pay him the money and the Raiders blow him away with an offer, then fine, go. But, Rob, if he has job security at Michigan that he will not have in the NFL.
I agree with that.
I don't think Mark Davis giving out any more 10-year, $100 million deals.
No, I don't. I think he ran out of that. He's all out, fresh out of that, Chris. I agree. But Harbaugh still has to feel like I'm the native son. I played for Bo. I was a quarterback at Michigan, and you guys cut my pay 50%. You embarrassed me. Like you really were pushed me to I had no alternative. Like they weren't going to fire him because I think that they just because of what he's done for the university and his standing there, Chris. But a 50% pay cut from 8 to 4 is pretty hard to accept, and I think that
agreed.
That hurts, right. Like, okay, you love me and all that, but you guys did damage to me and my family when you cut my salary in half.
But come back out and now make it right. Now pay him. Pay him a huge salary. And Rob, I don't know. Look, obviously it's a blow to the ego. But remember, what did he do this year? All the extra bonus money he earned, he gave to workers at the school that had been affected from the pandemic.
Which was a nice gesture.
Right. So if he's just straight bitter, I don't know that he does that. So, but I do think they need to make it right and give him the money he earned.
I think, Chris, after they beat Ohio State and then they won the Big Ten, right? I think that's when they probably should have presented him with a new contract offer right then and there. And I think they made a mistake.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
I think that makes a lot of sense, right?
Like you do it right there. Like, okay, you came through with what we needed. Here we go. Here's the contract. Forget about last year. We're going to make it up to you. And the end of it. But they didn't do that, Chris. He's still working on that extension that he signed last year.
Right.
And now here comes the NFL suitors because his name is now back in good graces.
Right.